Hello. We're live. There's a thing like that circles on my screen, tells me when we're live or not. It says going live, circling, going live, and then it says you're live, and it just so happened to be at the exact same time as the man sitting on my left. AJ Hawk wanted to say something. What's going on? Welcome to Sports Talk Tuesday, May 26th. How you feeling, Aaron?
I'm feeling great. Good to be here. I appreciate you letting me know when you're going live.
Well, I was trying to. I said, hey, we're going live, and then you. To be honest, I never know how long we're going. Sometimes this thing will sit here for like a minute and it'll be like buffering, boom, you're live. It just comes out of nowhere. You got to be ready at all times. That's what the computer's doing to me whenever I'm trying to go live every single day.
Hey, do you think YouTube is, are they worried that Rogan's going to Spotify? Are they worried that other people are going to be poached and get out of there?
I think right now it's a big time arms race, okay, in the content game. It is a time where you need to load up on things. I think not only Spotify, but you think about Apple's going to want to get into this game too. They already got Tunchi in there. They're trying to get into the content game right now. Then you look at Google, obviously YouTube, and then you just go through the whole time. You start looking through the gamut. There's a lot of people looking to acquire content and audio in the world right now. It's a great time to be a human that's in the content game because the world is looking for it. It's a great time to be in this game, and I think every single day that I get a chance to talk to AJ Hawk in front of his books every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. How you feeling today, brother?
I'm feeling pretty good. How much do you think the Rogan deal was really for? Like, how much do you think he actually gets?
Everybody's saying that there was a lot more than just the $100 million. The $100 million
probably $100 million cash and then a bunch of money in stock options, don't you think?
I'm not sure if it was stock options or if there was more money in cash with stock options on top. I think there was a lot of money. I mean, I think there was...
I'm sure there's stipulations too. Like, hey, if you drive our subscribership up this much, you get a big chunk. Like, he has bonuses built in because it's a huge deal for him to go exclusive to Spotify.
I do believe there's incentives, and he's not exclusive. He's actually just licensing the show. He can still post clips on YouTube, which
even when it goes fully exclusive, like in September of 2021 or whatever.
I do believe that. I don't know if it's the third. I think it's the new
I don't
year.
think it's going to be on YouTube anymore.
I think he's allowed to put clips up, though. I think, from my understanding of reading whatever, he's allowed to put some clips up. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. But that deal is a great deal for every other content maker that's on the internet. Just like whenever Barstool sold the Pen at a $450 million valuation, that's a good deal for every other human that talks about sports on the internet. There's a couple trailblazers of the internet that make deals happen that has a trickle-down effect that helps out everybody else. Barstool, Rogan, things of that nature, those are people that do that type of stuff. So it's obviously something, as soon as it happens, you start snooping around a little bit. You're like, excuse me, how much money? $100 million? Damn. And then you start digging deep and they're like, much more than $100 million. They're reporting $100 million was not accurate. It's much more than $100 million. I'm like, well, good for Joe Rogan. I read an entire article on him. Basically, I forget what old school journalism platform it was, but they said the Joe Rogan and those types are the new mainstream media. And the quote that I took out of the whole thing is, why would you, when you can't get canceled, you have a lot more freedom to do stuff. And Joe Rogan talked about how in the middle of this pandemic with 38 million people going on unemployment, he feels bad almost that this deal happened, but he's unusually or weirdly wealthy at this point. He said something of that nature about how like this is all very mind-blowing to him as well. And the amount is massive. But this is a guy who's worked for this, 18 years, 20 years almost. He's been building for this thing. I mean, it's a great deal for Spotify too, because if you're a Rogan listener, you're going to find where you can listen to Joe Rogan at. And I think good deal for Rogan, good deal for Spotify. And in the article I read, they already made their money back with the stock bump. So the amount the stock went up, they already made their money back for what they paid him initially, what was reported. So maybe they haven't made the actual amount of money, but yeah, they already made a bunch of money back in the stock and everything like that. And that's what Joe Rogan does. He moves the needle either for you or, if you smoke weed on his show, against you. Shout out Elon Musk.
Elon went on again. Did you see any of his second appearance on Rogan?
I did not.
It was pretty good. I mean,
the kid.
Elon is such a weird, smart guy. Like, Joe could ask him a question, and Elon sometimes will pause for like 15 seconds to like think about what he's going to say to answer him.
Everything I say here is going to be calculated completely, because the last time I was on this fucking show, my stock crashed. Changing my kid's name to Roman numerals. That's what happened in the last time, right? That was the last big change. All the boys are here, by the way. Diggs, Nick, Ty, Zito, Foxy, and Boston Connor, also known as Coach Campbell on the internet. He's not currently Coach Campbell, though, right? This is not Coach Campbell?
No, it's not. I got the glasses on now. I could be yelling, but I'm not going to.
What is
that? Your coach speak?
No, that's not Coach Campbell.
This is a coach whisper. I don't want to yell on the show right now. So I'm whispering.
So are you Coach Campbell right now?
Oh, yeah.
This is Coach Campbell?
Oh, yeah, in my workout gear, yeah.
Coach Campbell's getting after it right now?
Oh, yeah, he was. Oh, yeah.
Have you seen this Coach Campbell video yet, AJ?
No, I saw it actually without volume. I scrolled through it.
We have to run it. This is.
Thanks for scrolling past it, AJ. Appreciate that.
This might be the best thing that Connor's ever pieced together, and I feel like this series is going to become something that we are going to get a chance and an opportunity to watch grow. It is next level. Obviously, you know Mitt. Mitt was all hungover yesterday. A bag of alcohol. He's basically a boxed wine yesterday. I mean, a guy so hungover after a Memorial Day weekend at the age of 21. Coach Campbell. Because he's a wide receiver at a university. Did you know that? DePaul University, he's a wide receiver?
Yeah, he can't have his coaching staff know that he's been hungover all weekend.
Well, it's funny you say that because this is actually what happened yesterday with Coach Campbell in the series that's about to take over the internet, I think.
Welcome to Coach Campbell's Hungover Hell. This son of a bitch was out all weekend with the floozies and his buddies drinking beers. So you know what we're going to do? Practice! Drop your fucking feet! If you're gonna throw the ball, throw it like a quarterback, damn it! Jesus! Tuck it away, Nick! There's a reason you fumbled 15 times last season! Nick! Drop your feet! Eyes up! Eyes up! Oh, you're lucky, son! If you drop the ball and it hits your hand, you will run until you die! Watch it! Nice catch, man. Just kidding. It was terrible.
It was pretty
Never
good.
anything worth half a shit on a football field. It's all right. Oh, you son of a bitch! Are you kidding me? Give me 1,000 push-ups right now. 1, 2.
Why'd you cut off the... There we go. This is the best part. Think about Connor editing this together and how good he felt putting this thing at the end.
Yeah, look at the Earth. It looks so good.
Oh, man. He was hitting him with
The problem is the Earth is round in that, though. The Earth can't be round in your graphic.
You a flat earther?
You think
I thought Connor might have been a flat earther.
You think I'm a flat earther?
Connor is not a flat earther?
Come on, I'm not a flat earther. The Earth is round, just like all the other planets.
Okay.
That is interesting. What do the flat earthers think about the other planets? Do they ever get asked about that?
I've never thought about that. That's a good question. Like, okay, Earth is flat, so the rest of them are. No, they probably think the other planets don't exist. Like it's all a hologram or something.
Speaking of holograms, somebody tweeted me this and told me I could take their idea, which is very nice of them. Since there's no crowds going to potentially be available for some things, you're seeing it in Bundesliga right now and other things. He said, and I quote, "Why don't we have the nerds create holograms of fans in the stands for these things?" And boom, we have an actual fan base now all of a sudden. I will say this. Bundesliga on Fox is piping in crowd noise, and I like it a lot more than I thought it would. I thought it would sound terrible because it's like, well, there's nobody in the crowd. I can see that. But they shoot it in a way that they're not getting everybody, that you can see empty seats. They put some tarps over some things because if the sound is there and you don't see anybody, then it can be weird. But they pumped in crowd noise in this one game I was watching this weekend. I loved it. And I think that was exactly what Joe Buck was referring to whenever he said the Fox is going to try to do some things for the broadcast, maybe pump in some noise. And it felt like the Bundesliga production had somebody who was like controlling the cheers and the boos and this, like, hey, we need this to be accurately timed here. When a good thing happens, needs to go crazy. When something bad happens, let's boo. Ref makes a bad call. Fuck you. Like that whole thing was happening. I liked it a lot more than I thought it would. I don't want that to be the new normal for sports going forward, but I think it's helped me kind of carry through watching places with 0 fans in the stands. Do you agree with that whole thing?
I do agree that if it's done right, like you said, if the audio guy is like if he's riding the controls up and down throughout the game, like, oh, it's a big play, here we go, we're getting louder. It's almost like Can you do you sleep in complete silence, Pat, or do you have some kind of fan or sound going?
I got a fan going next to me. Can't sleep without it, by the way. Not because
It's like that.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's that? Like if you try to sleep, say you turn like you're watching TV, you turn the TV off. Okay, let's tuck in. Let's just hit the hay. Let's go to bed. Your room is so dead quiet. I feel like it's impossible to sleep. That's why kids, like all my kids have sound machines, and it puts me to sleep. Like it's so nice. So maybe it's something like that, to where our brains it registers where okay, there should be noise here. If done right, it can help out. It's not as good as actually having the fans in the stands, but it can do a little bit.
Have we gotten away from the potential big screen TVs surrounding the football field yet? Have we gotten away? Has that idea officially been ruled out with people zooming in as if it's Roger Goodell watching the game live there? I guess it would be difficult because the Zoom cam would have to be right in front of it if the game's, well, they would have to have somebody controlling the Zoom cam to kind of catch the action. But has that been completely ruled out yet? Stephen Ross, Miami owner, Dolphins owner guy, he came out on CNBC and said, we're definitely going to have a season. It's just whether or not fans will be in the stands, which is kind of expected at this point. But I feel like we're on the road back, and I might be completely wrong. New Jersey opened up for professional sports. New York opened up for professional sports. California. It's just how will we be able to roll back into 70,000 people being right next to each other, 100,000 people being right next to each other, 15,000 people being right next to each other. I don't know how that all plays out, but I'm pumped to see the people that get creative with it. And I think the Fox, with the Bundesliga coverage, got creative with it with the sound. It made it much better than I thought it could.
I need to go back and watch some of that to see what it actually sounds like and looks like. But also, like, what does training camp look like? I know New Jersey opened up and said, like, okay, the teams can have training camp here at their normal facilities. Normally, training camp is the only time of the year where it's open to the public. We know that's most likely not going to be the case. But are they going to try to limit other people that come around? Like, okay, we've talked about it. Refs come around, and they'll spend like 3 days with the team, and they'll ref practices, and they get yelled at all day by the guys on the field. And then they come into your team meeting, and they explain the new rules. Like, are things like that going to happen?
Well, Mark Cuban said it's going to be like welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely place. Plenty of room at the Hotel California. What a nice surprise, what a nice surprise when you're alibi. You can
Do you know who sings that, Pat?
Eagles. You can check in, but you can never leave. Eat it. They're saying that, by the way, I'm a jukebox, and people have realized that by watching these shows, but you can check in, but you can never leave. So I would assume training camp would be just like that, where once you get in, you get tested on the way in, or whatever test they're doing, whether it's a temperature test or something of that nature. But then if you want to get out, the only way you're getting out is if you get cut. Other than that, you're stuck in there for the entire time. I would assume that's going to be the way it is for a lot of things. They're already talking about that with how UFC was doing it. They're talking about how I would assume that the MLB was thinking about doing it, the NBA, the NHL. There's a lot of that conversation happening where it's like you get tested in, you stay, and then you just hope that if you're around a bunch of people that don't have it, nobody will have it, and then you move forward. I would assume that's the first step.
Yeah, it makes me think of everyone. Okay, so a team has an away game. Are all the flight attendants? Are all they getting tested? The pilots, like anyone around the team, is everyone going to be somewhat quarantined together?
I don't want my pilot having coronavirus.
No.
By the way,
No thanks.
What's he doing? Huh? Breaker 19. I'm puking and having. What did they say? Some people have said that when they had it, they had like trips, like acid trips. They started
Like
seeing
hallucinations.
things.
Yeah.
Cuomo said that.
Yeah.
Damn. Imagine your pilot up there just like,
I mean, is it all of a sudden going to hit him while he's in the air? Like he's not going to know beforehand?
you don't know?
Yeah.
Hey, you don't know? We had a musician in our office, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's got it. He said that somebody came in his house, and that's how it happened. It came out of nowhere.
Hey, where was I? I was supposed to be there. We were having a show, and you said a guy was going to be playing music. Was I there?
Yeah, he ended up playing for our first show. He because that's where he striked us on, so we had to get a version of the song. Which Struggle Bus is he's on the Struggle Bus now, Clayton Anderson, because with the coronavirus. But Struggle Bus is an absolute banger. But he's got the coronavirus now out of nowhere. This is the first person I know that has gotten the coronavirus. By the way,
Wait, so he was there 2 weeks ago, and then when did you find out he had it?
last week. Last week he found out.
What did he do? Call to let you know or text you?
No. A Facebook video is how we found out. It wasn't even a call or a text. It was a Facebook video. And I was watching. I was like, wait a fucking minute, pal. Okay, Tim McAfee's here. He's an old. What are we doing here? And then I reach out to him. I gave him a T's and P's. Hope everything's all right. Obvious question here. It's like, you know, you kind of did come in raw dog here. You got any? And he told me the whole story. I feel terrible for him. He said he feels bad. It's not good. But Struggle Bus is a good song. But he currently has it. He's the first person I know that has had it. But I don't know how easy it is to transmit. Remember, it was supposed to be 6 foot distancing, and then there's studies say they don't. I know nothing about this virus. All I do is I like to read the room. The room feels as if we're ready to open up back up, and that could be completely wrong with what the coasts are feeling. But here in America, boy, it is wide open out here.
Time to go.
It is wide open. Memorial Day weekend was a. We're fucking done with this, pal. Let's go ahead and hit the boats. We're over it. Is it like that in Ohio? I'd assume so.
Yeah, it is. I haven't been out and about too much, but we're already getting emails about like my 7-year-old son's baseball team going to start up practice soon. They say they want to have games starting in early June already, like in a week or two.
I thought about like younger kids. Like, let's say you're in school, a teenager, and you live out in the country a little bit. Like, this has probably been a really hard time, right? You're kind of away from all your friends. You probably haven't been allowed to travel. Now, granted, if you live out in a farm, I'd assume you have a lot of brothers and sisters because it's a bunch of that stuff. But I assume there's a lot of kids. What's that?
Bunch of that stuff.
Well, they work. You're literally creating workers. That's what you're.
Yeah, no, I get it. The way you worded it was.
Sex? The parents? Having sex?
A lot of sex.
A lot of sex.
See, I thought you were inferring the brothers and
What
sisters.
about Amish people?
No.
Has it affected them much?
Amish people have lived in social distancing in quarantine this entire time. They've had it right all along. They're like Howie Mandel. They're fist bumping too. They're not talking to many of us. But I thought about, like, imagine you're in 7th or 8th grade or whatever. Your leagues shut down. Not allowed to play spring sports. In schools, sometimes the only place you get to eat or hang out with anything. Like, this is, I think it's going to change a lot of things. Now, granted, I don't have a child, so I don't know how you're going to have to handle that for them going forward. I'm not 100% sure how your kids have handled the quarantine or if they have good neighborhood and stuff like that. But there's a lot of insane backlash and ripple effect, I think, that's going to come from this entire thing.
Well, it's just become super political now too. Like mask, no mask, like it's ridiculous. I don't know. I think you're right. None of us know. None of us really have an answer. We don't know what's happening. I don't know. We're all just waiting to hear what we're supposed to do.
Guy driving in a Honda Accord next to me all by himself had a mask on this morning. He ain't fucking around.
I've seen a lot of that lately. I really have. But then I go into the grocery store and maybe half the people have masks on. But then I see, maybe 40% of people driving are wearing the mask.
The guy next to me this morning while I was driving in, by the way, wide open roads again.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful.
You guys cruising?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people having that mitt hangover today. I don't think they were out and about. It was wide open. But the person in the car all by themselves with the mask on, very intriguing to me. It's like, okay, do you think something's coming through the air conditioner? Is it just floating down the highway? Like, what?
Yeah, that guy's a fool. Talk about flat earther. That guy believes in the flat earth right there.
You don't know. He's probably just told, like, hey, you never know how this coronavirus is going to come.
Maybe he's got asthma or something.
Maybe he does have asthma.
Maybe it's a short trip and it's a tie mask.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he's a fool. Maybe he's an idiot. Yeah,
I have asthma. If you're wearing a mask driving, that is detrimental to your health. So
the mask is interesting, man, because I have such a big nose. I have such a large nose. It is a wild scene to go in there. I used to go bandana on my motorcycle, though, you know? I used to go bandana on my face, sunglasses, hat.
Is that just to keep bugs out of your mouth? Why? Like, why would you do that?
No, mostly because it makes me look like a bandito out there. You know what I mean? And I'm
How many Harleys do you have?
Currently, or just like over my entire life frame?
I guess right now, how many do you own?
2. There's 2 of them. 2 of them right now at the house.
The one I saw you on was kind of like a weekender, like that. You'd put your lady on the back and you go across the country, and it has like saddlebags and area to store luggage almost.
Oh, you talking about my street glide that's got a little bit of an air ride?
And then do you have like a legit Harley then, like a 1-seater that you can just cruise?
Legit Harley.
This
My street
guy.
glide would blow by all of my other
I'm not
bikes.
talking about speed. I'm talking about, do you have one that's more like cut down, more like doesn't have the big old compartments to carry a bunch of stuff?
Yeah, I had a chopper at one point, and then I had a fat boy, I believe, at one point. I had a bunch. I've gone through a lot of bikes, but this one's my favorite one. This one is my absolute favorite. It looks like the Batmobile, this fucking bike. It's
diesel.
You're saying it's a weekender. I mean, this guy.
Probably
How
run
many
over
re-
there.
How many wrecks have you got?
This guy.
He's never seen it in person.
course.
They got no
yeah, he
bikes
has.
like
He
that
has
in
seen it in
Ohio.
person. I pulled up to him whenever he was walking around. He was calling an Adidas high school game for 7 hours straight with no commercials. And I saw him during the day. This guy.
He's probably hanging out with Mitt. He was probably hammered.
Yeah, he probably was.
Still
wasn't he?
driving that 3-wheeler he has.
Yeah. Oh, the geezer glider. You got the old geezer glider over there,
The
pal.
old trike.
Oh, what was that called? No, it was the
You wanted to rent it to us during
yeah.
December to February.
The slingshot.
That was nice of you.
The
slingshot. That thing was fast and low to the ground. It was fun.
That thing sucked. And the people that created that, they're like, hey, we got one out there for a promotional. AJ's got it till January. We're thinking you maybe get this thing with no roof and 3 wheels from January to February in the middle of Indianapolis. Sounds like a good fucking deal. Take a hike. Hope you never
Well-
sell another one.
Guess what, Pat? I had it from December to January. So how much do you think I was able to use it?
Well, you said you loved it right there. You said it was awesome.
I did for about 4 minutes at a time, and then my face froze off. And I had to go back in the garage.
Those things were pretty awesome, though. Because that's just like that's a donut heaven, right? That thing? You just put that thing sideways and just feather the gas a little bit.
I think it's technically considered a motorcycle, but yeah, it was cool.
You put a plow on that thing, probably be able to plow your driveway pretty easily.
What was that other thing? Pan Am, maybe? Might have been a Pan Am. 2 wheels in the front, 1 wheel in the back. It kind of changed the way it was considered a motorcycle.
Is it called like a T-Rex or something? Like some dinosaur?
That's a slingshot, I think.
okay.
I think it's Pan Am. Can-Am. Pan-Am.
Can-Am has like the side-by-sides and like Polarises, like stuff like that. Are you talking? Like you go
Can-Am,
through
yeah.
trails in the woods?
Can-Am, it has the 2 in the front. Can you pull that up? There's 2 in the 2 wheels in the front, 1 in the back. It's like a motorcycle more, but it's automatically balanced or whatever. I thought
It's
that
for like old people to ride motorcycles. That's what it is.
But whenever it first came out, they were trying to market it as like the new cool thing or whatever. And I like went and took a look at it, and I was like, I don't know if I can get on this one. This seems like something I should not do. I almost bought my dad one. Tried to buy my dad one. My mom's out. Yeah, that thing right there.
Let me see.
Thanks, sweet.
See, I thought that like people were going to get
That's
on
like
board.
what cops cruise around on the beach.
Yeah, I thought people were going to get on board with that because the donuts would be majestic on
How
it.
many wrecks have you gotten in?
What?
Motorcycle wrecks.
None, bro. I got great
It's
vision.
not you. It's the people around you. You got to be. It's all everyone
No.
driving by you texting.
I agree. People say that, and I'll get in an accident at some point, and this will come back to haunt me. But you have to drive for the other people when you're on a motorcycle. Like, you literally have to drive for the other people. Like, I'm watching the driver while I'm riding my bike, if that makes sense. So, like, you'll see their arm move before their car will move, or you'll see their head glance at least a little bit. I'm doing that while I'm riding, or I'm getting the hell out of the spot that I'm in. And that might be called, I don't know if that's super defensive or offensive driving, but I am a mover and a shaker on there. I don't have time to fuck around for somebody else who's a terrible driver to take me out. I got shit to do, so I'm going to get out of the way. And in Indiana, I'm on a lot of wide open roads. But yeah, you never have a conversation with anybody who's been on a motorcycle. It's like, yep, never gotten in an accident my entire life. Most people have gotten into something, I would assume. And I'm just hoping that I'm one of the anomalies that never happens.
I hope the same as well. I know Chopper has a Harley here. My father-in-law, he got in a wreck. First week he had it. He was coming up over a hill, and like it was a thing where you go up and like you're coming up a hill, and right over the top of the little hill, somebody stopped completely in the road. It was like 55. And so I was like, "What'd you do?" He's like, "I had to dump that thing and ride it into the woods." Like he had to go down sideways and everything, and we didn't even know about it until he was walking around our house a couple days later in these little short shorts, and he just had nasty road rash all over, like his ass down his quad. It was amazing.
I'm a casual rider mostly, though. Like, I'll just casually ride, casually cruise with the lady. Then if it's wide open, let's go for it a little bit. The first time I got a bike my rookie year because my mom said, you will never be allowed to have a motorcycle when you're under my roof. So in college, I got a scooter, just to kind of warm it up. Like, let's see how I do here. That thing was incredible, had an electric start and everything like that. Then when I became a rookie and I got a paycheck and I was under my own roof, I was driving down the street and this guy had this chopper on the side of it. It was almost basically telling me to buy it. So I drove by it like probably 15 times. I had no idea how to ride a motorcycle at the time. I finally stopped. It was after one of those poker games. I think I had a shit ton of money on me at the point. And he was like, how can I help you or whatever? I was like, I'd like to buy the bike out there. He told me a price. I offered him an extra $500 on top of it to ride it back to my house because I didn't know how to ride it, right? So I gave the guy the asking price plus $500. He takes it back to my apartment I was living in at the time. I parked my car at the time, and I'm just looking at it basically for like 3-4 hours. Literally like, all right, I'm not going to ride it until I learn how to ride a motorcycle. Like, that would be very stupid of me to get on this motorcycle without knowing. And it was a Titan, which had like, I think 1,600 CC it. It was a big boy. So I tell a couple of my friends that ride bikes, they're like, well, why the fuck did you buy the Ferrari of motorcycles for your first one? I was like, I didn't know that. I knew it looked cool. I didn't know it was so big. So I looked at it for like 3-4 hours, whatever. And then finally I couldn't take it anymore. I got on top of that thing, stalled out like 4 or 5 times. And then I got going, got into the town. There was a red light, did a couple laps around a parking lot until it turned green again. And then I kind of just figured it out from there, got my permit, then my license, moved on. I feel pretty good about my riding ability. It's been over a decade at this point. But boy, those first couple of years, there was some sketchy times when I was on that fucking Titan. I mean, that thing was way too powerful for me. It had no back, tiny little seat. And I used to just, get a little bit aggressive with the old, little bit of that thing.
Did you ride it into the facility for the Colts?
Never. Not a single time would I have ever done that ever. But Jeff Saturday and them did a whole motorcycle ride for charity. So it was like, I felt like whenever I saw that they were doing that, I was like, oh, I can have a motorcycle then. Then I learned that if I was to get hurt, they would not have covered that insurance. I would have been on that for myself there.
Yeah, that's what you can't do. People always think in a contract that says like, oh, no skydiving, no motorcycle riding. It doesn't specifically say that stuff, at least on contracts I've seen. But it does say if you get hurt anything outside of football, we can take your money.
We are not paying for it, pal. It's
So
on
that's
you.
why you got to limp in and act like you did it at the facility.
Yeah, absolutely. I would get through at least 1 or 2 plays of the first period when we're punting, and then, oh my God, did I just... Yeah, I did. I fractured my hip punting.
And then all of a sudden, like, they're like, wait, why is your whole backside is just raw? You got full-blown road rash everywhere.
Nah, they came through and blocked it. They got me, and that turf was hot that day. It was pretty...
Burn me up.
Yeah, just going to probably need an entire thing here. Probably needed 6-7 weeks, too. It was not a good decision to do that, obviously. A bad decision at the time, but it's gotten me to this point where I'm very comfortable on a bike, and I enjoy the hell out of it. It's like it's probably my favorite hobby, because you can't pull your phone out. Literally cannot pull your phone out. It's just music,
That's probably the only time in your life where you don't pull your phone out, isn't it?
Bingo. Yep, that is it. You got the lady on the back of the steel pony, we're going to cruise around. It's really nice. It's really good.
I understand, man. I see that. Like where I live, you can get out to some nice little roads that don't have a whole lot of traffic on them pretty close to me when the weather is warm and I hear Chopper pulling up in our driveway, and it's like, man, it would be nice every once in a while to cruise around on a motorcycle.
My son of a bitch is loud too. That thing is too loud. Yeah. Like when I got this one I got 2 years ago, it is too loud. Like I don't like being that biker, that's coming through and like very, very loud. But then I got this one, and it's got some special pipes on it. I forget what it is. Anytime I'm going under an overpass, that son of a bitch clutch is coming in, and it's loud through that entire thing, and you see just cars. Oh my God! And then we're off.
What the hell is that?
What the hell is that?
Jesus!
Is that an airplane taking off?
Is there a train in the middle of the road?
That son of a bitch!
Jesus!
That's what happens.
Hey, how was Mike Lombardi?
He was great this morning. He talked about how the 4th and 15 alternate option to an onside kick there at the end of a game, you can only do 2 of them. He hates the thought of it because you shouldn't link special teams and offense together. If they're kicking an onside kick at the end of the game, there's probably a reason. They've been down this entire time. Why would you give a team a chance for whether a ref wants to call a pass interference, which is an automatic first down, maybe a roughing the passer, maybe a grab or something of that nature that's an automatic first down? It's like you're giving a lot of different people a lot of responsibility when they shouldn't deserve it. He's very against the idea. And once you started opening up and chatting about the refs potentially calling a pass interference or anything of that nature, I mean, once you start thinking about that, you're like, damn. And now you can't review the pass interference too. It's like all you need is one ref to get a little flag happy or whistle happy, and it's like, bang, a team that does not deserve to be in this thing is all of a sudden back in the game. And it's like, that's a lot of pressure on the refs all of a sudden. And I assume they're going to do this because they want a little bit more of a success rate. They want teams that know that they still have a chance at the end of a game. They want fans to know that
they want fans to know that they still have a chance. That's the main thing, to keep them tuned in.
And gamblers too. But boy, I see this becoming quite a conspiracy haven. If a call is made for the Cowboys or for the Patriots or something of that nature, people are going to lose their mind. They're like, oh, on his fucking earpiece, he was told to give him the ball so they can get back in the thing. I mean, that they're just waiting for that moment to happen.
You're just adding another thing to the ref's plate when they already have too much to handle already. And think about it, if you're 4th and 15 and that's your onside kick, of course, what are you going to tell the quarterback? Number one thing, don't take a sack, idiot. whatever happens, throw the ball, put it up in the air. Hopefully we get a pass interference, spot foul, first down, and we're moving, and we got a chance to win this thing. So it will be. I guess it's a fun thing to add some entertainment to the end of the game.
I don't mind it. I don't know. Once he started talking about the refs potentially getting involved, I'm like, that's good forethought. That's something I would have never thought. I would have thought, 4th and 15, if a team gets it, good on them. If a defense can't stop them, that's on them. But then you start thinking about the human factor, and you're like, wait a minute.
How tired are those defensive players going to be, too?
Oh, because the drive just happened, right? They just got scored on. That's why this whole thing's happening. And Michael Lombardi talked about how the defense was doing their job. They were running out the clock. They were keeping everybody in. Maybe they had a 7-minute drive, but they're going to be dead, right? And all they were trying to do is, they gave up points, but all they were trying to do was kill the clock. That was the objective of that drive for the defense, was to let this clock keep ticking. Even though they gave up points, they're still on the field for a long. It's just like, now you got to, I don't know. It's going to change a lot. I think it's going to change a lot. Gambling-wise, too, it's going to change a lot, which I think Lombardi was also passionately talking about because he's a pretty big voice in the gambling world.
Where does the 4th and 15, where do you attempt it from? What yard line?
You're 25.
Okay. Still have a ways to go.
Well, pick six,
If you get 15, say you get 16, you still got a ways to go.
Hold on, though. Pick six, though. I mean, you're talking about a lot of things that can happen gambling-wise here.
Oh, gambling-wise, yeah, it's going to change a lot.
Oh, a lot. Now, granted, you could return an onside kick to the house. Those things still remain with the onside kick, but it's not. I don't know. It's going to cause quite a clusterfuck if it happens.
Yeah.
And I hope
Are kickers upset? Like, are kickers mad that they're not going to be able to attempt as many onsides?
I would be. I'm not 100% sure how many kickers take a lot of pride in their onside kicks, though, right? Because you're not getting paid for onside kicks. It's not like, hey, you know what? You're a really good onside kicker. You're going to make this team. Like, that is.
You're right. That's never been brought up, has it? Like, when you're evaluating, should this team sign this kicker? They never like, hey, he's 0 for 30 on onside kick attempts.
Who cares? Maybe we'll try the punter to do it. But it is, once you get into it, it's something you could potentially take a lot of pride in. But that's not what you're making the team on. That's not what you're staying on the team for. And that's not what you're making your money off of. So whenever you're putting work into onside kicks, you're technically taking away from potential work that could be directly benefiting your bank account and your team. So it's just one of those things you have to do on the side, which I did because I was, kind of upset that I wasn't great at them. And then I went to work on them. I'm like, you know what, pretty fucking good here all of a sudden. And now they're going to be forgotten about forever because they're getting taken out of the game. Son of a bitch.
It's all for the safety of the game, right?
Hey, player safety, player's health.
For the shield.
Represent the shield. It's not a privilege. Nope, it is a privilege, not a right to play in the NFL.
That's the news.
What's the news?
The hosts of the ESPYs have been announced.
Who are they?
Yeah.
Megan Rapinoe, Sue Bird, and Seattle Seahawks quarterback and Yankees shortstop / Hall of Famer Russell Wilson.
Okay, here we go.
Yes! Thank you, God!
Pass.
That's who I always want. I want, Megan Rapinoe, incredible soccer player, great activist.
Wait, is it going to be a Zoom?
Sue Bird.
Yeah, it's
you
virtual,
love
I
Sue
think.
Bird.
I'm not 100% sure I know who Sue Bird is.
Former point guard for the Seattle WNBA franchise.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. A lot of
What is the setup, though? Is it all virtual?
No idea. It sounds like it's
believe
going to
it
be
is.
electrifying.
Did Ty campaign enough to get Russell on there? How did this happen?
Well, the thing is, Russell Wilson just gave up 300,000 meals on Sunday. Russell Wilson is a two-sport athlete that are being represented at the ESPYs. Potentially one of the greatest athletes of all time. Deion Sanders, Bo Jackson, Rob Gronkowski, multi-sport athletes. Russell Wilson's one of them, and he's incredible on the microphone. I'm thankful that he, Sue Bird, and Megan Rapinoe are on the mic for this ESPYs. This is going to be one that we'll never, ever, ever forget.
Yeah, no thanks. I think, I can see why they have Russell Wilson, but who wants to watch a guy just go up there and kiss everyone's ass and squeeze butts for 3 hours and talk about how great everyone is?
It seems like this show's going to suck.
Yeah.
I believe isn't Sue Bird and Rapinoe, aren't they together too?
They are.
Is that why?
They are. They will be in the
No,
same
we need
house.
Norm Macdonald back. You ever watched Norm Macdonald's monologue from the ESPYs? He killed everybody.
Is that a Norm Macdonald impression?
I don't really have
like
a
it
little
was.
bit.
Ty. Seems like it was. Bring it out, Ty.
Aye.
You seen this guy, Russell Wilson? This guy's a kiss ass. Nobody likes him. He's annoying as shit.
Jeez.
I think everybody likes him, Ty.
I
No.
do. I like Russell Wilson a
I
lot.
like him.
Donated 300,000 meals.
Good on him for that too.
Would have been
Appreciate that.
400,000 too.
Representing the Yankees and the Seahawks in such a good fashion.
Why do you always put the Yankees in there for him?
Just to piss me off and goad me.
That's factual.
I couldn't tell.
That is,
Go Yankees. And Russell.
That's what I'm doing. I'm tired every time I talk about it.
No one worth a shit playing baseball has ever been number 73, and that is
Oh,
Russell
my,
Wilson's
get off
spring
of
training
it.
jersey.
They're talking about
stink
bringing him back
anyways.
for the MLB on this short offseason because they know he'll be ready and not everybody else will be ready. Russell Wilson, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. And when it comes to baseball, they drop Russell Wilson in spring training. It looks like a fucking perennial all-star out there.
Yankees are dropping like flies too. They need Russ in the clubhouse right now.
Exactly, especially with the governor over there,
Yeah.
Cuomo, saying, hey, Russell, come on back, pal. Come on
Wait,
back.
what's going on with the Yankees, Connor? Did
Put
something
the
happen?
pinstripes on.
Judge is hurt. Sanchez is hurt. I think another guy, Severino, got hurt again. I mean, it's really a train wreck.
Wait, did
for
they
the
get
Yanks.
surgery once the whole COVID thing started or something?
I think so. They all might be out for the season.
But Russell
that's
Wilson
not
is sitting
factual.
over there in Washington with 300,000 meals on deck for people saying, hey, you want to put the bat in my hands, pal? The pinstripes are in good hands. That's what that means. Hey,
He's ready.
He's ready.
Credit to Connor for turning his light on today.
Thank God.
You know what, AJ?
It's Coach Campbell. dude.
Thanks.
He's coachable.
Most coachable coach around.
He told me that yesterday. He said, I'm the most coachable coach you'll ever see. What does that mean?
I don't know, but you know what I just realized as you stood up? Like this bat it's getting out of control. Like the amount of time, the amount of minutes
me?
that you hold on to this bat during the show is starting to anger me.
What? Why? Why? It's a big baseball show.
AJ, what's wrong,
like-
AJ?
I don't know if it's clips I've seen or something like where you're just sitting there and we're having a conversation and I don't realize it in the moment, but you're just sitting there just kind of wiggling the bat and we're just having a normal convo. And I'm like, wait, what? Why?
Me and
Why
Michael
is it over
Jordan.
the bat?
Me and Michael Jordan. We just have conversations with our bat, waiting for our next time to get at bat in the AA for the Birmingham Barons, pal. I think I am.
You are lucky.
Yeah,
get, that
you're
get
lucky.
that back elbow down.
I mean, how do you not know? You're 33 years old.
I've only played once, dude.
You play golf righty, so I would imagine right hand should feel more comfortable.
Yeah, but it doesn't for some reason. Unless I hold it like, that's how I hold it.
No, don't interlock your
No.
Well,
You're
it's
lefty.
golf. He's
You're
fucking
lefty.
comparing it to golf.
You're lefty.
Definitely interlock.
There it is.
Elbow's too high. Jordy's going to kill you.
Why is the elbow supposed to be low? I was told that the elbow is supposed to be high.
Keep it tight.
It's got to drop anyways when you swing. So
Torque.
Yeah.
you're wasting time when it's up.
Yep, you keep it that high, you're going to be popping out to the infield quite a bit.
I just hope he can get off the fucking ground. I just hit 3 grounders last time with my weak hand. I'm learning. With my weak hand, pal. By the way, I might be able to see the ball better from this side because holding, I'm on this side for a righty.
Oh.
So it might be actually.
That's why you're feeling more comfortable then.
Yeah. What eye are you? Are you right eye dominant?
So I think I'm left eye dominant actually, which would mean I'm a righty baseball bat then, right? Because that's the near eye there.
You still have dominant eyes when you get LASIK?
Oh,
Yeah, I think so.
How about you just close them one at a time and see which one you see better out of?
All right, here we go.
What are you doing?
I'm a lefty. I'm a left eye.
Yep.
Have you ever done that before?
I know my right eye has been better than my left my whole life.
When
So
the triangle moves. Right?
So whenever you put that thing in there, right? Whatever you see in there with both eyes, then close your eyes.
Oh, they're both the same.
Yeah, whichever. Then which one stays the same?
Both.
What are you talking about?
You're like a fighter pilot then, Z.
Yeah, do your Tom Cruise and fucking Top Gun.
How about I just do this? I can do
Z.
this.
Williams.
Okay, right eye, I see there. Left eye, okay, my right eye sees better.
Yeah, but you don't know if you don't know, AJ. You don't get it. It's not my fault. You don't get it. It's not your fault either.
I apologize. You're right.
How old are you? 35.
36.
Go, Aaron.
Happy birthday
Day
to
to
January.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Hannah. Happy birthday to you.
Click, clack, click, clack.
Sorry we missed 35 of them, but we're happy we could hit the 36th one, honestly.
Yeah, just a few months after I turned 36. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, let's talk about Ram safety Taylor Rapp being a fucking superhuman. He burned 10,000 calories in one day. He biked 125 miles. He swam 1.25 miles, ran 3 miles, and hiked 4 miles from 4:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. This is a factual statement. This thing actually happened. It seems like a bunch of bullshit whenever I first heard it. Then he's got it all tracked, obviously. This is an insane workout. The Murph is you run 1 mile, you do like 100 push-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 sit-ups, 100 pull-ups, and then you run another mile. This guy went above and beyond. Have you ever been in the shape that Taylor Rapp is currently in? 125-mile bike ride, 1.25-mile swim, and then a 3-mile run, hiked 4 miles. That is absurd. I don't think I could accomplish one of these feats. He took on all 4 of them. This is next level stuff, and this guy's in much better shape than I'll ever be in my entire life.
I could eat the 10,000 calories.
Attaboy, Z. Attaboy. How about you, AJ?
I mean, the 1.25 miles swimming, that right there is very difficult. Like, I assume he's been training for this a little bit.
Yeah, I think he would have to. Is he trying to be an Iron Man? Is this football training? I don't know. Like, hey, is he a good football player? Does anybody know if
He's
a good player,
corner.
man.
He's a good player? Yeah.
I remember him in college. He was very good, and he had a good rookie year, too.
He's their nickel. He's their starting nickel corner on defense.
Did that guy next to him do that entire workout? I would expect your body to look a little different if you did all that stuff, but I'm happy that.
Taylor probably had to drag him a little bit.
To be honest, he is not heart monitored up, so I don't think so.
True.
Taylor, what a stud of a human. I didn't know we had humans that could do this type of stuff. This is next level. This Lance Armstrong stuff that we're learning about on Sunday night here, this documentary, whenever they're talking about what he would do, insanity, absolute insanity. Now we got a guy in the NFL being able to pull off a lot of stuff. Good for the sport, good for the league, good for Taylor. I would never be able to accomplish that, and I am bummed about it, to be honest with you.
Well, you don't know the Diaz brothers that fight and are MMA fighters?
Oh, yeah.
They both do Ironmans all the time. Like, they swim it back and forth to Alcatraz. Like, they do all of this.
What?
What about the Sharks?
What?
What about
They escaped prison?
The Sharks?
The Diaz brothers swim back and forth to Alcatraz, the water that they thought they deemed unswimmable. The Diaz brothers do that? Diaz, is it? Diaz?
Yeah, it's part of a race. Nate, the older
Diaz.
brother, or Nick, the older brother, and then Nate, the younger one.
You want 31 flavors?
That is
Oh, it checks out.
fantastic. I did not know that.
Of course it checks out. I know. What do you mean? It's like a known thing.
It is not a known thing. That is something, if I was the Diaz brothers, like the UFC should have, whenever he was fighting Conor, the only thing I knew about him is, okay, this guy seems to be about that life. He seems to be a tough dude. He beat him, by the way, and then he was throwing water bottles. I wish somebody would have said, oh, yeah, this guy does Ironmans in his sleep, and he swims back and forth to Alcatraz just for fun. It's like, damn, whole new level of respect for, not that I didn't before. I mean, they're badass individuals, but that is next level stuff. I can't swim across my pool.
Well, but it made me think of that because you said, oh, I imagine this one guy, you were body shaming him, saying his body wouldn't look like that if he was able to do all of this. The Diaz brothers, like, they're not the most shredded guys on the planet. But they're built for, like, they have the mental makeup to do those races, and they also, their body somehow physically it lends itself to that.
So that's just mental warrior stuff, right? Like,
I know Heinz Ward did a half Ironman.
Jeez.
It's like 70 miles, 1.2 mile swim, 56-mile bike ride, and a 13-mile run.
Whew. Oh my God. I am such a fat ass. There's no way I could even think about doing it. It would take me probably 5-10 years to get in shape to do that.
I'd rather watch on TV.
I mean, I would not. I would not want to watch that. That sounds incredibly boring.
Doing all that stuff he did yesterday, isn't that like deathly unhealthy?
Yeah.
Marathon died.
Doing all that shit in one day.
Well, we knew a guy who tried to do a marathon, and he trained for 9-10 months for this thing, and he got to mile 21, and he died. They brought him back to life. Still has yet to finish that marathon. Really? Now he's the CFO of this company. It's wild. He died.
What happened? He just passed out at mile marker 21?
Yeah, it was like a really scary situation because we were getting updates out here because he had been training for this thing for real for like 10 months. Hard training. He's getting back into it, by the way. You can see he's getting the itch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
His mile
he's gonna
time
do
is
it.
pretty solid.
He's getting
Yeah.
back into it. He's been a guy who's been in incredible shape here my entire life, knowing him. But he wanted to do this Pittsburgh Marathon. He trained his ass off. Then marathon day came, and I'm getting updates from people. And then I sent him a text. I'm like, "Hey, how we doing?" And I got cut off completely. And then you go to track him on the internet, and he just kind of fell off the race. It's like, what the fuck happened to this guy? He was in a hospital. Something happened to him. I forget
The
what.
rhabdo.
what is that?
Rhabdo.
He got rhabdo in the middle of a marathon.
Middle of the marathon, like mile 23. Still hasn't got
that's
the medal
scary.
for finishing. They took him to the hospital. Yeah, it was a real situation. Very, very scary. We make fun of him a lot for it, but if that guy trained for 10 months for it and couldn't do that, that is crazy to me. Now he's trying to get back into the game. If you can accomplish 125 miles on a bike, over a mile swimming, 3-mile run, hiking 4 miles, your body's just got to be built different, huh? That just has to be a different body than I have. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah.
Different body, different brain, I think.
Oh, you're saying I'm soft. That's accurate.
I'm saying I am too. Like, I don't have the mental makeup to do those like super long endurance races.
Hey, did you see Phil tweeted you asking you for a motivational speech because he needs?
Oh, is this CFO Phil?
Yeah, that's CFO Phil right there. Yeah.
What is this time? Is this a half marathon?
14 miles.
Yeah.
He needs to get to 26 or whatever. He did 17 last night, I think.
Is he almost there? He's getting there.
He's almost there. He's got this big old mustache, too. I think he's a little bummed because the Pittsburgh Marathon, due to the quarantine, is being moved. And I think he was gearing up to do it this year without telling us, by the way. I think he was just going to do it, get the medal, tell us to all eat shit, get the shirt that's finished and all that stuff. But then the quarantine happened, so now he has to... Does he have to stay in shape for another year? There's no way he'll be able to do it. This dude runs until he gets blisters on his feet, just casually, like on a Wednesday. He's just running, and I FaceTime with him afterwards. He's got blisters on his feet, his legs are, and I'm like, what are you? Why are you?
Some people, that's what they do, man. They just like that's their time. Like you on your motorcycle without your phone, that's them running.
That runner's high thing, I've always thought was a bunch
That's
of
not
bullshit.
real.
Yeah.
It's not real.
I think the problem is, you, us, all of us here, running was always punishment. So I did
Still
something.
is.
Still is. I do something wrong, go run. And it wasn't in a tone like, hey, let's go for a run. It was like, go fucking run. Okay, you want to show up and do that type of stuff.
And it was, hey, go run, and you're going to run until we tell you you're done. Like, you don't know. There's no end in sight. Like, that's another mental warfare that you have when you're like, okay, I'm running full gassers down, back across the field, and coach just keeps blowing his whistle and looks like he's not stopping anytime soon.
We can be here all night. Oh, turn the lights on. We got a long one. Run! It's just a nightmare. Soccer was terrible too because soccer, you're expected to run a long time. And I always knew Tuesday, Thursday nights, whenever I would go to my cup soccer practices, it's like, okay, save some energy for the end of this thing. So I'm giving like half effort through all practice. And then all of a sudden that makes me have to run more because I'm not going full. And then I end up dying. I never was able to balance it in 6-7 years of cup soccer of how much effort to give at the beginning of practice because I know I'm going to die at the end of practice. I'm heavier than everybody here. Can we look out for the big fella? No, run. And I think that's why it's hard for me to get over that. I want to go for a run because it's like I remember puking. I remember getting chewed out. I remember being like, this is the worst thing of all time. I would like to quit doing everything and just become my 400-pound life in my house. Like, that is a tough thing to get over as an adult. But my friend Phil, he said he used to feel the way we felt, and then he started running, and he was like, I love it now. I don't know if he still does or not, but I hope to one day be able to achieve that.
Wait, that's something I give Mike McCarthy a lot of credit for. So we didn't run after practice in Green Bay. And he always said, like, our conditioning is built into practice. It's built into the schedule. Yeah. Our team periods, we're going to be running hard. We're going to be chasing the ball. Like, everything is fast-paced. Like, you don't need to run at the end. So because if you know you're going to run at the end, it's true. Like, just human nature. You're going to have that in the back of your mind. It's going to always be there. And you're not going to be able to go 100% during practice.
So Jim Caldwell never did any running after practice. His thing was we're going to be the freshest, fastest team on the field.
That had to be the most, like, the greatest thing to hear a head coach say.
Oh, he said it every single team meeting too. He was like
if any coach says like we want to be fresh, the whole team's like, yes.
We do
for this guy.
Yeah, hey, bud, we never want you to be fired. We want to be as fresh as fuck forever with you. We want to be the most prepared. We want to be the freshest and the fastest team or whatever. And everybody's like, you got it. He was like, with that though, like practice, whenever we're practicing, you got to go, and then when we're done, I'll take care of you or whatever. It's like, okay, and we had a very veteran team at the time, so everybody kind of understood the whole deal, And then Chuck showed up. When Chuck got there, we had a younger team or whatever, and I think it was a OTA, mandatory OTA. They had us run sprints after practice. I hadn't done that since college. So whenever I had my shoes untied or whatever, I was ready to break it down or whatever. Here we go, and they're like, everybody on the line. I'm like, what are they even talking about right now? Does that mean the same thing that I think it means? Like on the line. And then I see AQ Shipley is like dying. Right? So I'm tying my shoes back up, and AQ's like, oh, you piece of shit. I'm like, well, I thought practice was over too, AQ. What do you want from me? And then we just start running, and they don't tell you the time. And I did not. That's kind of normal in the NFL, by the way. There's some teams that actually do that on a very regular basis. I had no idea that was the NFL. Chuck only did it a few times. He didn't do it on a regular basis. But as soon as they did, I was like, oh my God, I did not know this happens. And then you start hearing stories from other people. They're like, oh yeah, we used to have to do 15 of them after Wednesday practice if we lost or something. I'm like, what? What? And you're losing? I couldn't fathom being punished by running and losing in the same time period. That would be a nightmare.
That's one of the first things I asked when I got to Cincinnati and I saw some players. I was like, hey, do you guys do you run after practice, like at the end of practice? And also, what is your conditioning test? Like, those are the two things I wanted to know.
What was their conditioning test?
It was great. It was 40s. I don't know how many 40s we ran, but I can run like, I could do agility drills all day. I could run sprints all day. But if it gets up to 100 yards or more, that's just the death of me. I can't pace myself. I need to just be doing quick, fast things.
Those 150s or whatever that got introduced into my life, it was a shuttle 6 times or whatever. Yeah.
Cut 300s?
No, 25 and back 6 times. It was a 150-yard shuttle.
Jeez.
That was the conditioning test with Chuck and
When
everybody.
you're cutting at 25, that's what kills you. Your legs are shot and you can't burst anymore.
I used to, depending on how fat I was coming into camp, which group I tried to politic to run with. You know what I mean? Like if I came in bad shape and I knew this was going to not be a good look, I'm like, Vinny, I think we're running with the offensive lineman today, right? Aren't we? That's what we all agreed on. Is that what we did last year? Yeah, it was what we did last year. Vinny was like, no, we didn't. We ran with the middle or whatever. I was like, no, we're running with the big boys. Have to, by the way, or I'm not going to be on this team. You got it. So we just start the first one. We just run with the offensive lineman because they get sent first, and we just go. And then while the bickering's going on, they have to send somebody else. So by the time it's over, it's like, hey, I thought you ran with the middle group. I was like, oh, we didn't know. We ran with that's on us. So sorry. And then like 1 year, pretty good shape or whatever, middle group goes, it's like, all right, here we go. I'm going to look like I'm a real athlete. Set the tone for the entire thing, me and Vinatieri. It was pretty cool.
How many of those 25s did you have to do?
I think it was 8 or 10, 6. Couldn't tell you.
Over 1,000 yards.
Try to remove those from my mind immediately after they happen. Guys, I mean, you get guys show up and they pull hamstrings, and then but everybody on the team knows, like, hey, you're going to have to do this, so get your ass in shape or at least be hydrated for it. There was a guy that had to run it every single morning for like the first 10 days because it was a high draft pick, and they couldn't cut him. They couldn't just get rid of him, and he couldn't pass the physical or pass the test. And they were like, if you don't pass the test, you can't practice. And then we all saw one son of a bitch not pass it. It was like, well, are you going to stick by it or not? What are we going to do here? And they made him run it 10 times. I felt so bad for the guy.
It was awful, especially offensive linemen. I think the smarter strength coaches will shorten the run. Like, say you're doing half gassers down and back across the field, a little over 100 yards. Like, for an offensive lineman or defensive lineman, they're never running that far anyway. I watched a D lineman in college. We were running our conditioning test, which was 20 half gassers, just brutal, and a 30-second rest in between. And if your foot wasn't fully across the line, like whatever, they're absolute sticklers for it. And this dude has, big guys, their backs would lock up a lot when you're running conditioning tests. His back locked up. He was no shirt on and just had white skivvies on. He's running, his back locked up. Boom, just dumped his pants right there in the middle of the conditioning. And we're all there like, hey, we're like on 13 of 20. We can barely breathe. We're dying. Like, oh, man, that sucks. And then he didn't really sink in until later on. Like, oh, well, not only is he got to clean himself up right now, he's got to come back and run this test tomorrow morning.
Man, I wish I was in that locker room. That's a locker room where I would have done well right there.
Let's go out there.
When he would have came in that locker room afterwards, boy, I would have been there ready to greet him. Come on, buddy, you've had a rough day. Now we're gonna have to do a lap around the locker room. There's a lot of people that got some shit. No offense to say to you right now. We gotta hit this thing head on here. This is gonna be a lingering thing for the rest of your life. That's a shame.
Or is he smart, though? Or was it a smart way to get out of the test and not look like he was quitting?
That's the way I would be PR spinning that thing. Crisis management 101, did it on purpose. Get off me.
Joke's on you guys. I knew I wasn't going to finish. I knew I was going to have to come back tomorrow anyway, so I stopped at 13. I didn't have to run all 20.
Oh, my God. I wish I just saw a guy just shit his pants. I would have died. We had a guy that at West Virginia, we wore yellow pants in practice, Mm-hmm. And we had a guy who on a couple of different occasions, farted and a little bit too much came out.
Oh, the old shark.
Yeah, and he refused to wear underwear. So that guy was always something, especially in the piles. You had people really losing their minds and stuff like that. But I've never seen a full shit. Did you see J.J. Watt tweeted MC Hammer last night? MC Hammer did a Google search. Allegedly, it is actually more healthy for you when incredibly tired to bend over and have your hands on your knees. A study came out and said it is more healthy for you, more beneficial. It is better for recovery to bend over, put your hands on your knees in spite or despite, in opposite of what every single strength coach in the history of strength coaches has ever said to you. There ain't no air down there. Get your hands off your knees. Stand up and breathe. Let your lungs expand. It's like, well, why is my body telling me to bend over then? I feel like my body understands itself a little bit better than you do. Every strength coach was like, no, can't do that. You're not going to be able to breathe whenever you're bent over. Turns out, studies say we were right all along. Strength coaches were wrong. Kind of a shame that we don't get to reap the benefits of this, but the next generation of sports guys will definitely pull this out while in the middle of conditioning tests.
Yeah, but can you imagine, though, especially old school strength coaches, just debunking this left and right? They know whenever they get off this quarantine and their guys come back in the facility, they're going to have 15 studies to show this was garbage. And MC Hammer doesn't know what he's talking about. Whoever did this study, like it is. We talked about this a couple weeks ago on the show, didn't we? How they want you to put your hands in the air, all this stuff. It's true. I don't know what it is. It's a mental thing, but you do feel like you get more air if you can just at least bend over a tiny bit.
Why is my body's first reaction is to just do this? Like, why is it want to do this? You tell me why my body, since the beginning of time, has been looking out for my body.
Gotta listen to your body.
Wants to do this. Listen to your body. Let us know if things are getting too hot. Let us know. Listen to your body. Except when you're dead fucking tired and your body says bend over. Don't listen to your body anymore. Listen to us and waste your energy of standing like this, resting your hand on your head, stumbling around, and then 10. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Fuck. And then you get to the other end, and it's like, no, hands on the head.
Get those hands up.
Hands up. Breathe. Stretch out those lungs there.
You're tired, walk around.
Ain't no air down there.
What are you, fish?
Expand the lungs, son.
Hey, don't you guys know? I know Diggs is a big CrossFit guy. If you watch any of these CrossFit things on TV, when they get done with one of their exercises or whatever they're doing, they lay down flat on the ground. They're so exhausted.
How come the
'cause
CrossFitters
they're,
got it all fucking figured out?
It's because their organs are failing. So that's just the best way to get blood back to the rest of the body.
I guess CrossFit is a killer.
Yep.
Yep.
How so?
People's organs fail, I guess, is what Diggs' big motivation.
Yeah, well, you wish you were mentally tough enough to go that hard to where your organs would fail, huh?
I do. I actually do wish I was like that.
On your back and your knees and your joints.
I think the creator, like his organs failed.
Well, I'm just saying this. We don't know if what Diggs is saying is accurate or not.
Mr. CrossFit.
I've been doing some workouts here lately that have been making me feel like exhausted, and I've enjoyed the feeling. Actually,
Oh, it's actually a rhabdo.
it like they get rhabdo. You run a marathon, you get rhabdo. You do CrossFit, you get rhabdo. You're kind of a dead man. But I've been enjoying these workouts that have been leading me to exhaustion. To be 100% candid, 100%.
You need that. I think all of our bodies need that. Like you need to push your body so you do feel totally exhausted. It helps you the rest of your day.
But I'll tell you what, I am laid down on that ground in between different sets of things. I am completely spread out. Oh my God, I can't. Like, for instance, my boobies have been cramping up because there's been a lot of chest building. Mm-hmm. And I'll get to the point where I can't even hold my phone to move the song, okay? Can't like change the song on my phone. I can't even move my thing. So I'll just lay down with my T-Rex fucking arms like this on the ground. And then I'll get like 2-minute break. And then I got a boxing timer that yells at me to get back into it. But I've been enjoying the exhaustion again. I've actually said that I miss the feeling of my legs being dead. And that is such a very weird thing to miss. And I never thought you would ever hear me. Any strength coach that's ever been around me or human that's been around me during conditioning would never think that I would say this. But at the age of 33, whenever my legs are just completely blown up and dead, I was like, oh, this feels good, actually. And then I can't get up off the shitter, and there's other things that happen. But it's been feeling good to kind of abuse the body a little bit here lately.
Now, what is the reason for it? Like, why are you on this kick?
Because I got fat shamed on the internet.
By who? You fat shame yourself.
Well, maybe. I mean, I got to sit down, okay, on camera every single day. And when I'm built like a spark plug, when this gut starts to grow, I mean, it's just a real problem. And then the internet starts calling me fat. They're like, oh, once was thick. Now he's fat, and it's like, wait a minute, I got to get going. And I had to have a talk with the mirror, like, hey, are you going to be a fat ass forever? Or is this what's going to happen? And I've never been like a totally yoked guy. Does that make sense? Like, never been jacked because I like to eat things. I think I would like to see myself do that at least once. And I think that time is now, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm 11 days into a new workout plan. I don't know if that's long enough to call it a habit or not, but I am.
Oh, it is.
I am currently like looking forward to the workout I have coming whenever I go home this afternoon.
Hell yeah.
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 I'm tired. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, NXT TakeOver, June 7th. They will battle. Breaking news on the show this morning, AJ.
That's great. Oh, okay, good.
You have any idea who any of those people are?
Yep.
We broke news for WWE.
I think I've heard of Finn Ballard.
Balor. Yeah, the Balor Club.
Not Chris Ballard.
No, not Chris Ballard. He's the GM of the Colts. Allegedly, he was trying to make some trades this offseason, from what I heard from an
Sam
insider.
Roberts took a shot at you for no reason.
What?
Oh no.
Just undeserved.
Sam
Do you like
Roberts?
Sam Roberts, AJ? You like Sam Roberts?
Yeah, I know his stuff.
What did he say to me?
Son
He
of
said your
Sam?
chain was stupid.
What?
Oh my! He's talking to me.
Yeah.
I did have a chain on earlier today because
What happened?
Great shirt. I don't know actually. To be honest with you, I got a too Italian there for a second.
Were you serious with that? Like I saw a little clip. Were you serious with that chain, or was it like?
I mean, serious.
What are you talking
sarcastic?
about? Serious? Yeah, I was serious. It was matching my watch. I was Italian for the morning. You got any problems with that?
No, I was just trying to see what's going on.
Stone Cold Steve Austin wore a gold chain. You got anything problem with that?
What?
What?
Oh, he's a great human.
Bingo. Have you ever talked to him on your show?
No, I would love to. I've listened to some of his podcasts he has.
I know I've watched the Broken Skull thing on WWE Network. It's great conversations, great insight. Because I'm a big wrestling fan from back in the day and currently, but I've never had him on the show either. That'd be a cool conversation.
I saw a little bit of Lil Wayne's show for the first time.
Was Stephen A? Who'd you see it with?
Stephen A.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith was a guest on Lil Wayne's show. You're talking about Young Money Live or whatever, right?
Yeah, he's sitting like in a little studio in his house. It looks like he had Amigos on.
Oh, how'd that conversation go? Pretty good.
Oh, it was awesome. He was talking to the one of Migos that just graduated high school.
Quavo.
It was awesome. Like they were just complimenting each other back and forth.
Wheezy, people forget Wheezy was on Masked Singer, and somehow the three guests did not know it was Lil Wayne when it literally sounded exactly like Lil Wayne the entire time. And his voice is very distinct. I watched the Masked Singer there for a little bit, okay? Seen White Tiger, Gronk. I enjoy guessing and getting things right, but I don't know a lot of there's some celebrities that get on there that I would never know who the hell the voices are, or old singers. I wouldn't know who it is. But as soon as Lil Wayne came on, I was like, that's fucking Lil Wayne right there.
Got it.
And no,
Who were the judges?
Robin Thicke, the guy that did that thing with Miley Cyrus, Mr.
The dude from The Hangover.
The dude from The
Ken
Hangover,
Jeong.
Ken Jeong, there it is.
Oh, okay.
Jenny
Wait, you know
McCarthy?
Robin Thicke as the guy that did that thing with Miley Cyrus?
Yeah, that's what he did. She bent over in front of him whenever she was in that. She was
Oh,
in
like
that,
the MTV Music Awards. or
Yeah,
whatever.
Wrecking Ball.
she was in that time of her life where she was really living. She has a mullet now, apparently. My lady told me, so I like that. She's all the way back, but that's how I know Robin Thicke. Yeah, and then the lady from the Pussycat Dolls.
Yeah, the lead one.
Cole
Scherzinger.
Scherzinger.
Wait, are they still around?
Who, the Pussycat Dolls? Nah, they broke up. It's a real shame. But Scherzinger is on the Masked Singer right now. Yeah,
She's still there.
She's crushing it.
I can't get into the Masked Singer, man. I don't know why.
It's not bad. The first couple episodes not bad. It's just too long and drawn out. Like I want to see more people and a more quickly turnover rate. But the fact that they didn't know who Lil Wayne was, I almost had to change the channel. Like you fucking idiots should not be on television talking.
They must be paying well. How'd they get Lil Wayne to go on there?
Yeah, I think they are. They got all the big names on there. That show is massive. But anytime it's on, there's like probably 6 out of the top 10 trending topics are either guessing who's potentially the banana or the turtle or the tiger.
Are those promoted by the show, or is that an organic thing that's trending?
I think it's a lot. I think a lot of people watch it. I honestly do believe that a lot of people watch it. It's a good show. It's not a bad show. Nick Cannon doing his thing, whatever Nick Cannon does.
It's weird. Who knows? No one has any clue what's going to hit. Like, what's going to be a hit show?
I guess that show was big in Korea.
Yeah.
All those game shows come from overseas, and then they come over here, and Simon Cowell probably buys them up and then just launches them. Simon Cowell, brilliant businessman. Just had a baby, too, at the age of like 94 or something. Weapon of a man. Just a There's a guy that wears a chain and the unbuttoned thing, old Simon Cowell.
Hack starts.
Does he?
Yeah,
Oh,
indoors.
Oh, yeah.
And he wears very, very baggy denim. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Simon Cowell, there's a guy that knows his brand.
He's a beast.
He's a beast. He was almost bankrupt a couple times.
Really? That's a beast move.
Yeah, and then now he's obviously Simon fucking Cowell.
50 Cent.
Is this show done?
You've had this the whole show, I feel like.
There it is, right there.
Hey, do you see Joe Thomas on Titan Games?
Great stance.
Closest win I've ever seen in the history of anything, I think. I mean, he lost that thing to the fireman who
He fell like at the very end when wasn't it weird when he kind of fell coming off that last kind of padding situation?
Well, when you land in a crash pad, by the way, it can be a little bit awkward on your legs. He said he was feeling a bit woobly, too, through the entire thing. He's a big dude now to be going through that entire thing. I was very impressed by Joe Thomas's performance, but boy, it sure looked like he was going to lose to that fireman. Now, he beat the fireman and took the fireman's dream and everything like that, which I don't know how, I don't know, Joe Thomas loves that aspect of the whole thing, but he looked damn good in that poise at the end to put the little key into the hole and turn it while the fireman was kind of bouncing it around was next level. He said that on Twitter, I was following along with him a little bit. He said he didn't drag the ball far enough for him to really swing the axe because it's obviously attached to ball and chain to the thing. But I thought Joe Thomas put on a hell of a performance, thought he was losing, and then a great turn there at the end to get a win. That was awesome. Is he on all year now?
I have no idea. When did they film that? I mean, they're not going to be able to film anytime soon, I would imagine, if he's going back for like the semifinals.
I'm not sure. Did somebody in this studio, somebody in here watched that show last night?
I loved it.
You did, Zito?
Titan Games?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Were you the one that asked me this morning, did you watch Titan Games last night? I was
Yeah.
like, I saw Joe Thomas, but you watched the entire thing?
Yeah.
There was a lady on there who was not a Titan, who was an absolute savage on that, whatever.
Farmer Jess?
Olympus Mountain or whatever.
Wait, what do you mean she wasn't a Titan?
So there's a Titan, a team that The Rock puts together. The lady was a professional boxer, I think he had. Joe Thomas was on there. Other people. That's like his Titans.
Victor Cruz is on there.
Oh,
too.
and then they challenge other people.
Like
Then-
the gladiators?
Then two civilians, whatever they do, they compete to take on one of the Titans in Mount Olympus or whatever the hell it is. And then if you win, you go on. If you lose, you have to do something else. It's a cool concept.
Yeah, she beat the boxer, though. She was amazing.
Yeah, the boxer is the Titan. She wasn't even, I don't think, halfway through, and this farmer lady was done. I mean, it was...
That's my apology. That was the other lady. The first lady, I'm getting her name right now.
Okay, perfect. It was next level. I was very impressed. And Joe Thomas, he put himself out there, by the way. That is putting yourself out there to potentially be embarrassed. I mean, you are 10-time Pro Bowler, Joe Thomas. A lot of people say the greatest to ever do it at your position. In shape, he's in great shape. You potentially lose. Now not to that a fireman is not, but you're this elite electric athlete. The fact that he put himself out there and then got the win, I think is a big deal. And he said, wait until the rest of the season. He said he puts on quite a show on his Twitter. So I assume he's on there more and more. I don't fully understand how it all works out, though.
Yeah, I don't either. How does The Rock do as the host?
It's kind of interesting because he kind of walks around. It's more like a candid, casual
Just kind
rock.
of like
Yeah,
it was like doing voiceover as they're running through the thing.
It's a casual rock. You know? It's a casual rock.
It's got to be a casual Rock. He has 300,000 jobs right now. Like he's flying to. It seems. I don't know about it now during COVID, but that dude, he keeps a pretty tight schedule.
He did the Murph the other day with Good News guy,
Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
Oh, really? They did it together?
Yeah, I think so, from what I've been told, because the Murph people were promoting people to do it. And I really wanted to do it, but then I realized there ain't no fucking chance I'm doing 100 pull-ups.
Yeah, I saw the CrossFitters. They jumped the fence at the local high school, and they're out there doing the Murph yesterday.
Oh, jeez.
Well, listen,
Good for them.
If you don't stand up for something, you're going to fall for anything.
Yep.
That lady's name was Shantae
Orlovsky.
McMillan.
Orlovsky did the Murph? Mm-hmm. He's like 145 pounds at this point, Orlovsky. That guy
It's
is
like 6'6", 145.
He really is. He legit is very tall and very thin. That's a great body to have for the pull-up thing. Now, granted, those are long levers for him to get there. I could not do 100 pull-ups right now if you asked me to, let alone in the middle of a push-up, sit-up.
Wait, is it 100
No
pull-ups?
thanks.
Yeah,
It is 100. You have to wear a 20-pound weight vest, too.
10 sets
Oh,
of 10.
jeez.
Phil, our CFO, did the Murph. He did it in 38 minutes or something like that. I was FaceTiming him right before he was about to do it. And I was like, what's the Murph? And he told me about it. I was like, you're going to do 100 pull-ups? He was like, 10 sets of 10. It's nothing. I'm like, one set of 10 is a problem over here.
2 sets of 10's a nightmare.
He's got tiny little feet, though, so there's not a lot.
Oh.
You know, he's just poor.
Doesn't it
Not carrying
start
too
and
much.
end with a 1 mile run?
Yeah.
That alone right there. I'm done.
AJ, if it wasn't for the knees, do you think you'd be an avid fitness guy?
I mean, I'm an avid fitness guy, but non-impact. Like I can't run 10 feet, like jog 10 feet. Or my leg will fall off and go courses through my whole body. I feel like if I try to run distance, but no, I mean obviously my knee and ankles and feet and Achilles and stuff get absolutely shredded if I try to run 200 yards. But I don't think I was built for long distance because I used to have to run the mile in high school starting like my freshman year, and I got worse and worse as it went. And I didn't tear my PCL. I didn't have any issues in my knee until my senior year of high school, and then I just got all the cartilage taken out over the next 5 years. But I still was terrible at distance before that.
I think it's a genetics thing too, because I played soccer, which is a distance running thing, and I was not good at it, like ever. My body just would never. I often sort of wonder if I had asthma. Like, can we get tested me for asthma maybe? Because asthma kids used to be able to sit out some shit whenever they were running. I was like, maybe I have that. Have we ever thought about that? But we had to do the 2 miles in 12-minute test, and it was always a race to the finish for me, and then an immediate puke afterwards, every single time. And I was in, I think, some of the best shape I've ever been in my entire life, and it was just like, I don't know if I'm built for it.
I never puked actually from working out or running. I never was able to puke.
See, I could push myself.
Oh, I could push myself, but
Okay.
I always I would have
sounds like
time. I would have moments when your mouth starts getting
AJ,
watery,
be
you don't
honest.
like it, and then you don't puke.
You can't push yourself.
Yeah, you can't push yourself.
Can't do it.
You ever been punching a jejunum?
What?
Huh?
What'd you say?
You ever been punching a jejunum?
I don't know what that means.
Jackie Moon, he never puked in a workout either until Mox, old Eddie Mox,
Yeah.
Moxley?
You got it.
Eddie Moxie.
Johnny Moxon.
John Moxon. There it is.
No.
Yeah, that's
Monix.
Monix.
There it is. That boy
Monix punched him in the jejunum, and then he puked all over him.
What is that from?
Semi-pro.
Semi-pro, dude. Come on.
Jeez.
Oh, it was. Okay, I've seen it. See, I don't
Cocksucker.
have the recall like you do.
No one called you a jive turkey.
Whoa,
I didn't say you were a jive turkey. He didn't say you were a jive turkey.
No one called anyone. No one called anyone JT.
No,
Called you a
no.
cocksucker.
Called you that. You can call you JT.
That movie is next level.
What about the other show that we talked the tag show with the Watt brothers?
Good show.
I don't think I've heard.
Stop aligning yourself and looking at yourself in the monitor with the bat.
I'm looking for you to pitch a ball, dude.
Good, take a big cut.
Well, you got to pitch it.
Can't because you haven't pitched.
Throw him the heat, AJ.
Come on, AJ.
And
Throw him
bam.
the stinky cheese.
Oh, he's going to. Oh, he's safe. He's safe.
Oh, the picture.
Suck it.
AJ,
Perfect drag punt.
thank you.
Oh,
That's another thing that like when you're a lefty, you can drag that. You'll be halfway down the line as you're bunting.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I almost outrun an infield dribbler.
Yeah.
I legit was very close to outrunning when I pulled my hamstring in the process, but I was very close to getting it. I feel like all of them were very close, but I feel like I almost did it in that game.
Well, what about the tag show? Is it still going? That has to be a series, right?
You know, not 100% sure. Didn't come on the show to promote it. Went on everybody else's show.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're upset.
I am.
What network carries it?
Fox, I think.
Fox, yeah.
I'm gonna have to tune in. I want to see the three guys just chopping it up together.
Me too. I am very happy that NFL players are hosting shows now at this point. I'm pumped for JJ and TJ and Derek and the Watt family. Nobody talked about the show, though, after it aired, which is a problem. In the world that we live in, you know, you start covering things that get a little bit of buzz on the internet. There was no buzz on Tag. Let's assume episode 2 will be a little bit more buzz. Let's hope so, because I hope JJ and the Watt family have success.
They need one of the ultimate taggers to like blow a knee out or something like that.
From what I've seen, that's the whole time. I'm like, these guys are gonna have compound fractures. They're
Yeah.
gonna have some crazy injuries.
That's what we need to see.
I have not watched. I have no idea. I honestly have no clue what the show is about. I've seen a little bit of a highlight or whatever, but I watch those parkour videos all the time, so I'm not 100% sure I'm that impressed with what I'm seeing because I see dudes doing what they're doing on that little thing up like 70, 50 stories up in the sky.
Top of a
they should have
building.
got
So
those. They should have got those guys.
ipso facto, parkour.
There's a house in California that they should have got those guys to be professional taggers. They're fucking doing triple, quadruple McFlips off their houses.
Can you make a living doing parkour and put it on the internet?
I would like to put together a parkour team potentially. Where they
You
sign.
should sponsor a parkour team.
I would love to. I spend 20 to 30 minutes of my day every day watching these little Spider-Men do their flips on the internet.
Wait, what were you about to call them? You stopped yourself.
I don't know what was coming out there. I forgot.
Started with an F.
Yeah, well, it's probably an F word flying, but I didn't want to disparage them because It is a very dangerous game. I think a lot of them have potentially lost more than others have, but I very much appreciate them for their entertainment value. It is amazing to watch these little things. There are superheroes. I don't know how tall they are, maybe 4'5". I'm not 100% sure, and I don't really care, but I saw a guy do like 7 flips on a trampoline yesterday. He got double bounce like you do with your kids, and he did like 7 flips, and then he crashes into a crash pad right with his face. It's unbelievable.
They're like ninjas.
They really are.
They're
They're little ninjas out there that we have just roaming amongst us, and we have no idea. They look like a little pissant nerd, and then they take their shirt off. They have a 40-pack, and then they'll go right off your kitchen with their hands and do a front flip right in front of you. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable stuff.
Well, there's all kind of facilities now built for like the American Ninja Warrior type stuff, parkour. Like it's a big industry right now.
Gymkhana used to be a place you could go as a kid if you wanted to.
Gymkhana.
What's it called?
Gymkhana. They used to have the springboard floor. I always wanted to go. My parents never take me.
Wait, like that old MTV show Singled Out where you got to hit the right spot and it has a piston that shoots you out? You remember that?
No, I do remember Singled Out. I don't remember the piston shoot.
Singled Out was what Chris Hardwick and Jenny McCarthy, I think, hosted. They'd be on a beach doing like these obstacle course things, but they had I always wanted to see it where you got to run and place your foot in the right spot and it would shoot you up like over top some water or whatever. And if you didn't hit it in the right spot, it would dump you in the water.
So it's like you're transporting whenever you hit this thing. It's like hopping into a pipe on Mario.
It's spring loaded with a piston or something. Bam! It would just shoot you whatever direction.
So now they have these little runners that are little padded runners. They're like the little blue thing. I tried to get Zito to buy one for the office, but then he sent it over to Phil to buy, and Phil said, "I'm not buying that on the company's card," which is wild because the company's named after me. But these things are all over the internet. They made them slip and slides.
Show me. I want to see one.
Can you pull up that? Do you remember what it was? I don't know what it's called.
I don't know the name anymore. I'll find it.
Look up blue gymnastic runny thingy.
Is it just a pad?
Yeah, but it's like it's an inflated one, and it's a long one, and I think you just run down it, and it's like a trampoline basically that you just.
What?
It's awesome. It is. I tried to get one for the office. Believe you me. I tried to get one for the office. CFO Phil said, "No, I can't do it, pal."
Why don't you just use your personal account?
Maybe, but then I'll just keep it at the house.
Is Phil doing this because PMI could also be Phil Maines Inc.? Is that why he's doing this?
Potentially. Look at that thing right there. Get another shot of that thing. That thing is like a long runner, and it's just.
I know what that is. Yeah.
It's awesome. I saw somebody put it as a slip and slide the other day. I was like, brilliant idea. There's running, flipping, slipping, dipping, diving.
I'm gonna have to look those up. How much are they?
It was pretty expensive. It was pretty pricey. Pretty pricey. You know, for Phil to go, no chance. That normally means that he thinks it's a bit astronomically priced. We've been trying to pick up stuff like that for the office. Probably good that we don't got it.
You could dunk probably.
I don't know. Maybe that would work for your Office Olympics. You guys still doing that?
Nah, I mean, we did there for a while. The numbers weren't generating enough for how much money we were giving away. Just wasn't
one of those.
And the bodies.
One of those things that unfortunately just is not going to survive quarantine.
Just wasn't. You had to weigh pros and cons here on the internet. You know, like, hey, what are the pros? Okay, it's fun. It's something for us to do. What are the cons? Well, it's not getting a lot of views. We're dying, and we're giving away a lot of money. So this seems like a pretty easy decision. Look at that thing. Look at that thing.
Wow.
AJ. Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What is?
What was that noise?
It's like a slip and slide trampoline.
What's it called, Zito?
Well, I can see how they get you, Pat. Like I see the blue thing; it looks awesome. But you see that guy in mid like flip, and you're like, okay, that's me.
That's me, because I see these little superhumans doing this off the ground. I'm like, well, I'm obviously never going to be able to do it off the grass. But you give me this air track thing, I'm going to be able to potentially keep up with these guys.
It's a great landscape to sell that thing too. You got the well manicured lawn, the ocean out there.
We got a discrepancy here. Dig's looking up the price. It's showing $500, which seems extremely doable. Phil's saying he never saw it.
Phil. Do they sell them on Amazon?
This one I can look on Amazon.
It's
I mean,
awesome.
That would be a big hit at the Hawk House.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's something that I've been wanting here for a couple months now. To be
Get
honest.
the long one though.
Yeah, there's two sizes. There's like a short little one that I think you're just supposed to do one flip on, and then there's an extendo clip that you can really get after it on.
Amazon, yeah.
Because you can do the run thing. Whoa,
How much is the long one?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Well, let me do some research here.
Shouldn't be that much research. It should literally just be
It's on Amazon.
right there in front of you.
33 feet is 1,500.
See that
10
might-
feet, 500.
Come on. I wish the big one was 500.
That's what I'm saying. I think this is potentially what Phil saw and was like
33 feet though.
1,500
Let's get
pounds.
two.
You're actually getting
What are you gonna?
you're getting
Two
a
10-footers.
good deal because if 10 feet's 500, you know, you're
Yeah,
getting
here we
a
go.
good deal.
Keep going. I want to hear this.
Well,
You're getting 3 extra feet.
well, 30 feet should be 1,500.
Yeah, you're getting 300 feet. You're getting 3 extra
extra
feet.
feet.
dude.
Wow.
Get an
good
extra
deal.
yard on that
How
thing.
can you not do that? It's such a deal. 3 extra feet. You got to do it.
Buy in bulk.
I don't know. Sure feels like they're trying to rip people off over there in their track, but they got a good product.
20 feet's 950. I mean,
Is it? That's the deal.
That's the deal.
So we need 2 20-footers there. That's the way you operate this thing.
Is Phil listening?
Phil's definitely listening. He
Hey,
just said
yesterday on the show, Pat, we brought up Mayor Pete, and Diggs said he didn't know him. Was that true? You really never even heard of Mayor Pete?
Let me do some
You've
research
seen the
here.
construction site.
I'm from Pittsburgh. I don't know.
People are faced.
What are you trying to say?
Like, isn't he a mayor of some town in Indiana?
South Bend, you're practically the mayor of South
You lived there, I thought.
I mean, I go there like 6 times a year. So, yeah, basically the mayor
6
of...
times a month.
What's in South Bend?
That's not even possible.
Notre Dame.
This show's over. Show's over. That is it. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Jesus.
Come on down for a mental vacation with the boys on YouTube Live. It's McAfee and Hulk.
Sports talk.
McAfee and Hulk Sports Talk. AJ used to
Tackle quarterbacks.
He's a Rust Belt kind of guy. That's the punter of the decade for the 2010s, kicking Pierce missiles to the sky. It's McAfee and Hulk. It's McAfee and Hulk Sports Talk. It's McAfee and Hulk.
Sports Talk. Done.